created for the purposes of enforcing this particular piece of legislation when it comes through, and the power that this bill will give to David Seymour over every single law that comes in and every single existing law that we've got is, in my personal opinion, really dangerous and really concerning.
So the power that's going to this one person, David Seymour, that's what the rest of the country should be concerned about as well? Not just Māori?
Not just Māori. And Professor Jonathan Boston, who gave evidence for us in the tribunal, he calls this the everything bill because it literally covers everything. Every single law, every aspect of society will have to pass through what Carwyn called this control gate that David Seymour is in charge of. So I think the best way that I could describe it in terms of trying to help people to understand what it is, this is the ACT Party's endgame for Te Tiriti. If they get this piece of legislation through, it will cause a fundamental constitutional shift in Aotearoa.
Carwyn, it all feels very calculated. The whole thing feels very calculated. And David Seymour posted on his social media that he was going to rein in the Waitangi Tribunal and put them in their place. The day the hearing for this bill was brought forward, why do you think the review of the Waitangi Tribunal was announced just days before this bill came into place? Because it all feels like the whole thing is a plan, a master plan, the Treaty Principles Bill, the announcement of the review of the Waitangi Tribunal, and then this bill comes in tomorrow. Is this a calculated approach from ACT to basically take away the rights of Māori in the Treaty of Waitangi?
Yes, well, I don't think it's any coincidence that we had that announcement about the review of the Waitangi Tribunal at the point that the Tribunal was about to undertake this review of the Regulatory Standards Bill. And we have, I think it is important, as you say, to see this bill in the context of a whole suite of policies that have been implemented by this government and continue to be implemented, which undermine Te Tiriti and Māori rights. And so I think that's why when we look at the comments that, for example, the Minister has made around seeing the principles that are in this Regulatory Standards Bill as inconsistent with rights under Te Tiriti, I think we should be very concerned, and I think we should recognise that it is part of this continued attack on Te Tiriti.
So what happens next, Tanya? How do we stop it? Can it be stopped?
Well, this is the interesting thing. So the tribunal has made some very strong findings as a result of the hearing. And I just wanted to make it to the tribunal because this is the fastest ever inquiry that the tribunal's ever undertaken. And what they've said is that the government must stop. They must stop and not introduce this bill. And so they've been told that on Friday, and they are due to make a cabinet decision on Monday and then decide to introduce this